Jessie. I want her to be our new nanny.
So do I.
The Disney Channel is without a doubt one of the most respected channels on cable. And one of the biggest hits that they had in the last decade was the series Jessie, a show that not only got a spin-off in Bunked, but had a lot of stars go on to have big careers. So allow us to show you the Jessie cast, then and now. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. What was Jessie about again? Given that the show ended over 6 years ago, it's honestly a bit fair that you might not remember everything about Jessie. So allow us to give you an overall synopsis of the show so you can get your memory refreshed as we head into the cast breakdowns. The series follows Jessie Prescott, Debbie Ryan, a young woman from a small town with big dreams who, rebelling against her strict father, decides to leave the military base in Texas where she grew up and move to New York City. She accepts a job as a nanny and moves into a multi-million-dollar penthouse on the Upper West Side with the wealthy Ross family, which includes jet-setting parents Morgan and Christina Ross and their 4 rambunctious children, Emma, Luke, Ravi, and Zuri, along with the family pet, a 7-foot Asian water monitor lizard that was later revealed to be a female. With a whole new world of experiences open to her, Jessie embarks on new adventures in the big city as she grows to rely on the love and support of the children in her care. Assisting her are Bertram, Kevin Chamberlain, the family's lazy and sarcastic butler, and Tony, Chris Gallia, the building's 20-year-old doorman. So yeah, your basic Disney sitcom full of fun, hijinks, and heart. And we weren't kidding when we said it was one of the bigger hits on the Disney Channel. It went for 98 episodes. Why not just give it 2 more to make 100? And it even had a spin-off in Bunked, and even had crossovers with other Disney shows. So overall, it was a truly big success, and it honestly did help many of the actors' careers in certain ways. Let us show you what we mean, shall we? Debbie Ryan. As the titular Jessie, it was very much Debbie Ryan's show to go and be a star in, and she absolutely performed well, and that led to many things in her future. Debbie did not slow down after Jessie. Most famously, she went on to star as Patty Bladel in Insatiable. She also appeared in Grace, Life of the Party, Every Day, cover versions, Riptide, Sing It, and more. That's not all. The actress even joined a band called The Never Ending. The group released an EP called One in 2014, and it was seriously full of bops. That being said, that didn't mean that she stayed as pure and innocent as her character, because not unlike many Disney stars before her, she did go and have some issues with the law. The biggest one being that she got caught with a DUI and had to go do community service and take a program to try and ensure that this didn't happen again. Sadly, this is what happens to many child stars after they go from being the star of the show to having to live the rest of their life. She did seem to bounce back though, and for that we should be grateful. But on the brighter side of things, the former Disney star got engaged to 21 Pilots drummer Josh Dun in December 2018. So overall, not too bad of a life for Jessie. Debbie. Peyton List. If you want to talk about the breakout star of the show, that would honestly have to be Peyton List. Because not only was she a star on Jessie, she was the lead star in the spin-off show Bunked, and lasted on that show for multiple seasons. As for what she's done after her time on the shows, it's honestly been a lot. She's been in a couple of series, but is really making an impact on the show Cobra Kai, which is the sequel series to the beloved Karate Kid franchise. She plays the girl known as Tori, who is absolutely not like Emma, mainly because she's a very angry girl whose life has treated her badly, and she turns to karate to get better. And she arguably gets worse and more vengeful. She debuted in the 2nd season and made an immediate impact. Season 3 was just as good for her, and now she's going to be a series regular in Season 4 and probably beyond. Fans can't get enough of her, and it's not hard to see why. But she's not just doing that. She's also pursuing her own music career, and has released some tracks, all of which are on YouTube now if you want to go and see them. Other things she's been in includes The Swap, The Thinning, The Outcasts, Anthem of a Teenage Prophet, Then Came You, Light as a Feather, and more. She's got 4 new movies in the works, plus recently was a guest judge on Nickelodeon's show Top Elf. You very much can define a person's career based on what they do when their breakout shows are done, and Peyton List has absolutely done well for herself, and likely will continue to do well as time goes on. Cameron Boyce. Sadly, we have to talk about a cast member that is no longer with us. Cameron Boyce played Luke Ross on the series. Cameron Boyce played Luke Ross on the series Jessie, and was a joy to watch on screen. However, his life came to a tragic end at just the age of 20. What happened to him? Well, he suffered from epilepsy and had a seizure in his sleep that led to his death in 2019. It truly was a shocker, especially since he was still heavily involved in Disney programs and other shows at the time. Before his sad passing, he starred in Gamer's Guide to Pretty Much Everything, Steps, the Descendants movies, and more. Cameron was super passionate about giving back, helping others, and using his platform for good. And before his death, he was involved in numerous charities. Descendants 3 was dedicated to him, as he filmed it before his death, and many feel that a Descendants 4 won't happen because of his passing. It's always sad to hear of a loss of a young life, and no doubt his castmates on Jessie were devastated when they found out he was gone. Karen Brar. And now, we move on to Ravi, who, not unlike some of his other co-stars, made such an impact while on Jessie that he went and was cast in Bunked as well, and stayed with that show for a few seasons before moving on to other endeavors. Because of his age when he was on the shows, he honestly doesn't look much like he did in those days. But that's what happens when you grow up. In terms of roles, Brar has had a few, both in live action and in voice acting. He worked with Disney on their movie Stargirl, and even landed his voice to the animated series Cleopatra in space. And some of you might have seen him in the movie Hubie Halloween, alongside Hollywood funny man Adam Sandler. In fact, Peyton List and many other Disney stars were in that movie as well. You might also remember seeing him in Youth and Consequences and Pacific Rim: Uprising. So yeah, Ravi's gotten around. Sky Jackson. Like Peyton and Karen before her, Sky Jackson started out on Jessie and then went to Bunked. As for her life post-Bunked, she's done a lot of voice acting roles, including being in a key Spider-Man series, as well as Dragon's Rescue Riders. Jackson released her debut novel, Reach for the Sky: How to Inspire, Empower, and Clap Back in 2019. Jackson was a semi-finalist on the 29th season of Dancing with the Stars in 2020. Oh, and she was in a major feud with Bad Baby once, but we wouldn't exactly call that a career highlight, would you? Kevin Chamberlain. What? Did you think we were not going to end with a look at the Monitor Lizard? Trust us, Mr. Kipling's life post-Jessie is not meant for human ears. As for Kevin Chamberlain though, he did a lot of work post-Jessie. He starred in A Christmas Melody, Internet Famous, Grace and Frankie, The Emoji Movie, Wonder Park, The Nightmare Gallery, Trouble, and more. He is arguably most known though for his stage work. So much so, he was nominated for multiple awards during his time on stage. See, the adults know how to make it work as well. Would you go back and watch Jessie again if it was on right now? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.